Y'all, we're making pumpkin waffles. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the random web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're going to be tackling low carb pumpkin waffles. Stay tuned. All right, guys, low carb pumpkin waffles. Can it be done? Today, we're going to find out by testing two popular recipes online for pumpkin waffles. The first is pumpkin low carb almond flour waffle recipe. Whew. It's a mouthful, by the website simplysohealthy.com. And this is a traditional waffle recipe. We're actually going to beat some egg whites and fold those in to add some lift. And our second option is by the website thatlowcarblife.com. And this is a recipe for pumpkin chaffles. And if you don't know what a chaffle is, where have you been? They are immensely popular for a reason. It's a cheese and an egg waffle that somehow magically comes together as a fluffy yet crispy waffle. So we're going to try both of those options today and see which comes out on top. Now before we begin, I need to give a huge thank you to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. Thrive Market is an online marketplace on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everybody. You can shop for thousands of name brand products at up to 25 to 50% off traditional retail prices. And what's nice is you can sort the catalog of those thousands of products by the values that matter most to you, whether that's vegan, paleo, low carb or keto like us, non-GMO, whatever it is that matters most to you, you can filter the catalog and shop by those values. Now, like a lot of big box discount stores, there is a membership fee to join Thrive Market, but what's nice is they have a couple of options. If you just want to try it out, you can do a month membership, or you can do like me. If you select the year membership, you get it down to about $5 a month. So what's nice also is they have a happiness guarantee. If you don't actually make up in savings the cost of your membership, they'll actually refund you that at the end of the year. So it's also nice that they have a give back program. So for every membership that Thrive Market sells, they give one away to a person in need, a family in need, a first responder, a veteran, somebody that can really benefit from access to healthy, delicious food. And it's nice in the comment section of my very own videos to see people saying, hey, I'm part of the give back program. I receive a free membership and it's helped me buy products that I wouldn't otherwise have access to. So it's great to see their give back program come to life right here in my own comment section and on my channel. So that's great. So right now you can get a free gift up to $24 if you sign up today using the link down here on the screen. It's thrivemarket.com/highfalutin low carb. It'll be here on the screen. It'll be in the video description below, and it'll be in the pinned comment below. So be sure to use that link. If you want to support me, go support them. Check it out. See what you think about it. I know that it has been invaluable for me, especially during when you don't want to go into a lot of stores right now, just to have some of this stuff shipped right to your home. So thank you, Thrive Market, for sponsoring this video. It's sponsorships like yours that keep channels like mine on the air, and I'm so appreciative of that. So thank you so much. All right, let's go make some waffles. All right, guys, let's get started on our first recipe. This is the traditional almond flour waffle. It's not the chaffle recipe. This one is a little more involved as far as ingredients and appliances. This is the pumpkin low carb almond flour waffle recipe, and this is by the website simplysohealthy.com. And I'll be sure to list all the links here on the screen and in the video description below. If you've been here any length of time, you know I don't give exact measurements for recipes. These aren't my recipes. I'm here to test them. The people that did do the hard work, they deserve the traffic. So be sure to use the links down here on the screen or in the video description below. So we're going to start this with some eggs that we have already separated, and we're going to beat these egg whites into stiff peaks. So let's get started on that. Before we do, I'm actually going to start with our dry ingredients first, because sometimes if you whip your egg whites first and you get to doing other things, they'll weep on you. So into our, the first appliance, I guess you could say, into our Cuisinart, we are going to put in almond flour, and yes, you see those big lumps in there, and you know I would normally say sift, y'all, sift, and I normally would, but we're putting these in a food processor, so they're gonna get plenty whizzed up. And in addition to this, we're gonna add some erythritol-based sweetener, and then also here are our spices. We've got cardamom, we've got nutmeg, we've got cinnamon, we've got a little bit of salt, and some baking soda. So all this is going in to our food processor, and let's just pulse this a little bit to get this combined and broken up. Okay, so we've got our dry ingredients already worked into a little bit of a fluffy flour mixture. And now to this, we're going to start adding in some of our wet ingredients. This is going to be the egg yolks. In they go. Be sure you get them all. Melted coconut oil. So again, if you want to know exactly how much, go to the link down at the bottom of the screen. We're going to add in a little bit of unsweetened almond milk as well. And then this is our pumpkin puree. And I'm going to tell you now, make sure that you are actually purchasing pumpkin puree, 100% pureed pumpkin, and not pumpkin pie filling. It seems to be, it doesn't matter what brand it is, if you don't look carefully, the cans look almost identical. But pumpkin filling has sweetener and your spices already in it, and we don't want that. We just want just pure pumpkin is all we want. Also going to be adding some vanilla extract to this and give this a mix. Okay, get out of the way. All right, so now we're just going to whip our egg whites into stiff peaks. So I'll do that and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so we are at stiff peaks here, and we are going to start folding in this. You want to carefully fold this in. We take about 1/3 of the pumpkin puree mixture, and we're going to gently fold in about 1/3 of it first, right? Because you don't want to lose all this wonderful height we've created with these egg whites and this softness. Let's add a little more of the pumpkin. We're going to have to work to get this blade out of here. That's one thing I don't like about a food processor. You can't get the blade out sometimes. It says to just do it all at once for the second go round, but seems like that might be a little bit vigorous, but we're going to follow the directions exactly as written. That's the only way to test out a recipe. Okay, so these are ready. They have preheated. We're just going to hit them with a little bit of oil spray because you don't want them to stick. And I bet with these egg whites, you're liable to. I'm going to use a measuring scoop. Now, this is supposed to make 8, I believe, probably what we would, a regular traditional size waffle. I like these little miniature ones. I really do. So bear in mind that it will probably take longer to make 8, what would be 8 full-size waffles with this smaller waffle maker. But we're just going to make a few to test. So in these go. And I'll meet you back here in about 3 minutes. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes. Let's see what our waffles look like. Oh, those are beautiful. Let's make sure they're done. I think so. They're really soft. I just don't want them to be too wet. Oh, they look nice. They're not super crispy, but those look really beautiful. And I'm going to try them once they cool off here. I don't want them to cool too much while we're making the other ones because I do want to try them while they're hot. But they look like $1,000,000. So that is beautiful. I'm going to do just a couple more just to have them ready. And I'll meet you back here again in about 3 minutes.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're back for our second recipe, and this one is gonna be lickety-split. These are Chaffles, and they are so easy. These are pumpkin Chaffles. This is by the website Low-Carb Life.com. Now, Chaffles are super popular, like I mentioned, because they are so fast and easy and good. I really like them, and you know my personal feelings about eggy tasting baked goods, keto baked goods. We've been through a lot of that together. But I even like the Chaffles. I use them as hamburger buns and all sorts of things. So we're gonna start this, our little waffle irons are preheating. We're gonna start with a couple of eggs, and then this goes really fast. This is very few ingredients. And this is some vanilla extract and a little bit of coconut flour. It's just literally a couple of teaspoons. If you want to know exactly how much of all these ingredients, again, be sure to use the link down below. But I like to put a little bit of coconut flour, almond flour in my chaffles. I feel like it gives it a little more substance, as it were. And to this, we're going to add a lot of pumpkin pie spice. This is our first recipe was individual spices. We followed the recipe exactly. This recipe calls specifically for pumpkin pie spice, so that's what we're going to do. To this, we're going to add a little bit of our pumpkin puree. Now, this obviously makes less waffles, like it's a less voluminous recipe, right? It's going to be less servings, but to me, that's kind of the way I feel about waffles. Waffles are not a good group breakfast project for a crowd. The poor soul that has to stand there and make waffles and can't eat his because he's making 100 waffles in a row usually with one waffle iron. So I think it's best get 2 of these and just make these for a couple of people. All right, we're going to add to this the most important part of a chaffle, and that is the cheese. Specifically for this recipe, mozzarella cheese. It just has the mildest flavor of any of the shredded cheeses, and you don't really want to taste cheese, but it's what gives it its crusty exterior that makes it so delicious. So just mix all this up, and y'all, that is it. If you remember correctly, for our last recipe, counting the waffle irons, we had to use 3 appliances, right? We needed to beat the egg whites with a stand mixer or hand mixer. Then we needed a food processor to pulse all the ingredients in, and then we needed the waffle irons to cook them. So, you know, on a Sunday brunch day, do you really want to be futzing around with all that? Is it worth it? Well, we're about to find out. So, once you've got this mixed up, it looks odd, I know, but wow, is it good. So, let's get, I need a spoon. Okay, so let's grease our 2 little waffle makers. These, I'll put a link to these down there. These have gotten so popular. I bought mine at Target. You can get them on Amazon. They're about 10 bucks a piece. And I mean, it's just as simple as it can be. So in this goes. Spread it around a little bit. Oops, I made a mess. Darn, Wesley. Look at that, y'all. For real. I'll clean that up in a minute while we're cooking. So, let's close these. I'll clean up my mess I made, and I'll meet you back here in about 3 minutes. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes, and we're ready to take these up. I believe my battery on my overhead camera is about to die on me, so I'm going to take these up, and then we'll come back right back. Oh gosh, yeah, they look good. The pumpkin smell is amazing in here. So, all right, guys, this is our first recipe, the almond flour. This is our second recipe, the pumpkin chaffle. I'm gonna let this cool for just 30 seconds or so, and we'll be right back here to taste, okay? All right, guys, so we are back with both of our waffles. Before we taste them and get into all of this, I wanna talk about the nutrition of these, okay? So the first recipe, this is the one by simplysohealthy.com. This is the pumpkin low-carb almond flour waffle recipe. This recipe makes 8 waffles, full-size waffles. Obviously, we're using a miniature waffle maker, so we'll have more waffles per serving. But if you make 1 serving of this, it's 201 calories. You got 15 grams of fat. You got 9 grams of protein. You've got 7 total carbs. For fiber, you got 3 grams of fiber. So that's 4 grams of net carbs per serving for the almond flour version. Now for our chaffles, this makes 2 servings, and if you use a mini waffle maker like this, which I think most people who make chaffles do, they just come out very crispy, this makes 2 waffles per serving and 2 servings. So one of these servings is 323 calories. You've got 21 grams of fat. You've got 17 grams of protein. You've got 8 grams of carbs. Fiber is 2 grams, leaving you with 6 net carbs per serving. So 4 net carbs per serving, 6 net carbs per serving, and let's see which of these is our favorite. Now, we already tasted the first one. This was the almond flour version, and it's soft and it's light. Very tasty. Okay, there is sweetener in here, but you're obviously going to serve both of these with some butter and some syrup, right? That's the whole point. This doesn't have a lot of pumpkin or pumpkin spice flavor to me. So here's the chaffle, and These get nice and crispy. You wouldn't believe that it is made out of mozzarella cheese, but it is. And this is what I like about a waffle, the kind of little bit of a crispy exterior and then a soft, fluffy interior. So let's taste these. These are hot. Those are good. These did not have a sweetener in them, and they do need a sweetener, or at least a heavy dousing of some sugar-free syrup. These did have sweetener. They didn't have a lot of pumpkin spice flavor. I will be very honest and tell you that I came into this fully expecting for the Chaffles to be the winner because I know that their flavor and texture is really good, and I know how easy they are to make. And I was, especially after creating that first recipe, I was like, this is a lot of work. But to my surprise, I'm gonna say, if I had to choose between these two recipes, that the first one, the almond flour version, is a better pumpkin spice waffle. I would add more pumpkin spices to it, the nutmeg, the cardamom, and maybe even just use some pre-made pumpkin spice. Whatever you've got already in your pantry, obviously use. But if I had to do it again, yeah, I think that I would pull out the 3 appliances and make the first one. These are, who were they by again? Hold on. Yep, I would pull out the 3 appliances and make the simplysohealthy.com, the pumpkin low-carb almond flour waffle recipe. And you experiment with it, and if you think it needs a little more pumpkin spice kick to it, then you can add that. So, all right guys, so there you have it, low-carb pumpkin waffles. It can be done, and it didn't take a chaffle to do it. All right guys, thank you for joining me. I say this every time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low-carb way of eating, and looking in the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you've come along for the journey. I also need to thank again Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. It's sponsorships like yours that keep channels like mine on the air, so I'm super appreciative. So guys, if you want to support me, go support Thrive Market for supporting this community by using the link thrivemarket.com/highfalutin low carb to redeem your offer to get a free gift of up to $24 on your first membership. So thank you so much, Thrive Market. I really appreciate it. I also want to thank my Patreon members. They're going to be here on the side. These guys are true rock stars in my eyes. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you, who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube, and you can give us $1 or $2 a month just to sort of keep the train on the tracks, as it were. And this is my way of thanking all these wonderful people for supporting me. Also, if you haven't checked out my Instagram or my Facebook accounts, be sure to go over there. I'm able to communicate a little more frequently there than I am here on YouTube, so be sure to check that out. All right, guys, I'll have another video very soon. I love you.